Hey guys, so sorry about the long wait. Things got crazy busy at work and I had little to no time to write or edit. There are some mistakes in this one. Forgive me, please. Thanks again for sticking around. I hope you like this part and part 8 will be up soon. Once we had finished watching the other 2 movies in the series, Yams called his parents to check in. I went down to the kitchen to refill our drinks. Sounds to me like you're jealous. Why are you being so loud? I looked at the plate sitting in front of my brother. That wasn't yours. He looked down at his plate. Don't just come home and grab whatever you want. Let me call you back. He hung up with the person on the phone. Hello to you too. I took 2 pitchers from the refrigerator. I filled my cup with water and Yams with juice. After placing both pitchers back in the fridge, I turned to him. He looked at the cups and smiled. Can't decide? This is for Yams. I raised the cup with the juice. He nodded. I looked back at the plate. His eyes followed mine. Sorry for eating your food. I'll replace it. It wasn't just mine. Oh, then tell Yamaguchi that I apologize. For what? He turned to look at Yams, but I kept my eyes on the plate. Almost all of it was gone. Shoyo had brought that food over for me. For us to have together, not for Akiteru. I could feel myself getting upset. I accidentally ate your food. What food? Yams walked closer to the table. I already told Kay that I'd replace it. Yams looked from the food to me. He nodded, understanding what was happening. Don't worry about it. You sure? Yeah, it's fine. I handed Yams his drink and continued past him to the room. I sat my cup on the bedside table. Yams closed the door behind us. You okay? I'm fine. It was just food, right? But it was food from Shoyo. Yams knows me too well. I picked up the stack of movies and shuffled through them. Doesn't matter. It's gone now. What should we watch next? Something short. I have to go after. Everything okay at home? Yeah. Mom wants to talk to me about her next show. Oh, you can go if you need to. It's fine. She isn't home from the gallery yet. By the time the movie was over, both of my parents had gotten home. They had each poked their heads in to say hi. After catching up with Yams, they went to their shared office and Akiteru started on dinner. I walked Yams to the door. Want me to walk you halfway? No, I'll be fine. Okay, but text so I know you got there safe. Yes, sir. He saluted me and smiled. Very funny. He laughed as he started down the street. I closed the door behind me. After dinner, I went back to my room. I checked my phone for the time. I noticed I had a new text message. It was from a number that hadn't been saved. Tsukishima? It's Shoyo. I thought you were going to call tomorrow. I was just texting to make sure this was you. Why would I give you a fake number? To mess with me, duh. Anyway, save my number. Good night. Night. I saved his number and laid back on my bed. The melody from before started playing in my head. I reached for my phone to listen to it out loud. Closing my eyes, different scenes begin to play in my head. All of them involving Shoyo. The next morning at breakfast, I decided to finally talk to my parents. Since it was Sunday, they were both going to be home. Good morning, Kay. I still hadn't worked out exactly what I was going to say. Don't tell me you're still upset about the food. I need to get them to take me seriously. Kay, what? I was saying good morning to you, but you ignored me. Oh, sorry. Morning. What are you focused so hard on anyway? Nothing. I got up to wash my dishes. I wish you would have waited for me to get up. Why? I was gonna make you breakfast to make up for eating your food yesterday. There's no need for that. You sure? You seemed pretty upset about it. I'm sure. It was really good. Where'd you get it? A friend brought it over for me to taste. You mean Tadashi? No. He stopped what he was doing and looked at me. I rinsed my plate and picked up the towel to dry it. So, does this friend have a name? I reached to put my plate away. Yes. Morning, boys. My mom came into the kitchen. She walked over and gave both of us a kiss. We both said good morning to her. She glanced to see what Aki was making. Mind adding some for me and Dad? He'll be down in a minute. Of course. Aki added more ingredients. Since I was already standing there, I decided to set the table for them. Hey Mom, do you and Dad have some time to talk today? We always have time for you. My dad appeared in the doorway. What did you want to talk about? Mom pulled out a chair and gestured for me to join her. Dad came to sit with us after making a cup of coffee. Okay, so, My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. I wanted to talk to you about my plans for after high school. They nodded in unison. I know you wanted one of us to follow in your guy's footsteps and become a scholar. Mom got a worried look on her face and I could see Dad tensing up. However, I've decided that I want to do something else with my life. Aki turned down the burner on the stove. What is it that you'd like to do? Dad took a sip from his coffee. Music. They looked at each other. I want to compose music. While you are a very talented pianist, I don't think there's much opportunity for that here. You're right. There isn't. Which is why I want to compete in the National Youth Orchestra competition. The winners perform at the National Orchestra concert, followed by a world tour that visits a number of great music capitals. So you would travel around playing with an orchestra? For the summer, yes. After that I can audition for a permanent place in the orchestra. Aki plated the food and sat it in front of them. Then he pulled his chair close to mine and sat beside me with his food. He didn't say anything, but I knew this was his way of saying he had my back. Solidarity and all that. I offered a small smile and looked back across the table. Our parents were looking between us. What about college? Mom took a bit of her food. Like I said, the program is only for the summer. Next year I'll be eligible to compete for scholarship opportunities for different music schools. It was quiet for a few minutes. Finally Dad spoke up. Give us some time to think things through. I nodded. My phone buzzed again. Sorry. I took my phone from my pocket. 2 messages. Both, good morning, texts. One from Yams, the other from Shoyo. I quickly replied to them both and put my phone back in my pocket. Everything okay? Mom asked. Yeah. Just Yams saying good morning. Aki smirked. I know he saw the one from Shoyo. I'm going to go study. Enjoy your breakfast. I got up from the table and pulled my phone out as I walked to my room. After closing the door I dialed Yam's number. He picked up on the 3rd ring. I told him everything that had just happened. What do you think they'll say? Not sure. There was a knock at my door. Thinking it was my parents I told Yams that I'd call him back. Come in. Aki poked his head through the door. You okay? Yeah. You can come in. He came the rest of the way into the room and closed the door behind him. What did they say? I could tell they didn't want to say anything in front of me, so they changed the topic after you left. I repeated Yam's question back to Aki. What do you think they'll say? They'll probably have a bunch of questions and want to make sure you've thought this all the way through and have a backup plan. I have everything figured out. Plans B, C, and D. He nodded. Good. Now who's Shoyo? Is he the new friend that feels the need to feed you? He said with a knowing smile. Yes. He smiled even bigger. Aki and Yams were the only ones who knew I like guys. Guess I have to add Shoyo to that list now. It's not some big secret though. I just don't go around telling everybody. Tell me everything. So I did. Does this mean you're gonna consider accepting his confession? I shrugged. Then there was another knock at my door. Good luck. He got up and opened the door for them. Thanks. My parents came into my room and sat on the bed. I took a deep breath.